Barbara, let me start with you. If the IMF were to reject Iran's request for this loan, how devastating would that be?
For $5 billion, which is not a huge sum, I think symbolically it would be more damaging. And I'm not convinced yet that the loan is not going to go through. Iran also has recourse to more than $1 billion, I believe, that it has on deposit with the IMF. And there was another event that occurred the other day, Luxembourg, where apparently Iran has over $1 billion in funds in banks there, said that it would release that money for humanitarian transactions. So I think there are a number of ways, you mentioned Instex, in which Iran may be able to get access to its own money in the IMF, in banks in Europe and in other places to help it get through this emergency.
Do you think, though, Barbara, that the IMF as a whole has this sort of appetite to get into this back and forth with the U.S.? I mean, we know how Donald Trump functions, right? So if you would have an international organization like the IMF going against his wishes, that wouldn't go down very well with him, would it?
Look, it's a test. President Trump has been vehement in opposing almost all international institutions, whether it's the IMF, the UN, the WHO, NATO. So I'm not sure that that alone would be sufficient to block it. This is, one of the things that's going on now is that Iran is presenting its case to the IMF. It's explaining how it would use the money as a way to deflect criticism from the United States that Iran would somehow divert the money to fund the IRGC or militias in Iraq or Hezbollah in Lebanon. So I think the process is still continuing. My information is that it's not over yet.